Hello, everyone, to our JV2 playoff Rocket League game. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited as well. Oh my gosh, we've had a crazy week ahead of us, and a whole bunch of stuff has happened here in the Esports Lab, and so I'm really excited to see how the second round for our Rocket League team is going to do, and if they're going to keep up with some of the other people in playoffs.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to some of the players before we started stream, and they are really wanting to beat this current team, which we are going against UHeart Black, I think, the Hawks.
Ooh, okay.
And they are really wanting to beat them because they want to get justice for JV4. They sadly lost against this same team last week. We didn't get it on stream. But yeah, they want to get justice for their fallen brethren, they were telling me. So I'm really hoping this game already has a lot of stakes as is. This is our last Rocket League team in the playoffs. It might be our last team at the lab in the playoffs, I want to say.
We have one other team that is currently in playoffs right now, and it is the Valorant JV team right now.
All right,
so they
awesome.
are also currently in playoffs. Same position that our Rocket League team is playing in today. Our Valorant team has moved on to semis, and so we're hoping that our Rocket League team will also move on to semis here today.
I would really hope so. That'd be great. And yeah, like I mentioned too, they're just trying to fight for that victory against the team that beats JV4. So we were hoping JV4 would win. We'd have a Vandal v Vandal game, but that's okay. Maybe next season.
That's how it goes. I don't think they would have been very happy to play each other so early in playoffs anyway.
Exactly.
So I think it worked out better this way. So.
But yeah, I am really excited. It's going to be good. And yeah, there's some more players right now. We have all of them in the lab. We're missing two. They're probably off doing something really quick. Yeah. But yeah, we managed to get everyone from JV4 in the lab because I think maybe last game we had someone playing from home. So this is a great opportunity. They all get to be together. They got their captain in the corner over there. They're all just hanging out. So especially this team, they're really good friends from like what I've gathered. Yep, there's safety hazard Seth right there. So yeah, this team I think they play a lot outside of practice. They always like to they hang out with each other too. This team has a really good dynamic with one another. I love seeing that with the team.
It's true, and that's what's super duper important about being on one of our teams. We like it when we win. Obviously, we have the good feelings for that. But first and foremost, here in the lab, you are a student, and the experience is the thing that we want. As a student, is the thing that we want you guys to be taking away from us as a program.
Exactly. Yep.
So. And speaking of wins, though, they did clutch out a win last week.
Yes,
it happened to be a very close 4-3.
Yes, that was a really good game too. There, I think from what I recall, I was doing analyst for that one. What happened is the other team had we're almost sure they were maybe gonna take it, and then I want to say 3 in. Vandal started just kicking up the heat, and they took it at the last second, and that was awesome to see. So I wouldn't mind a game like that again. It was very exciting, but way too nerve-wracking for my like.
Yeah, the JV2 team did in fact have to sub in their star player in order to make it so that they could get the reverse 2 games on their opponent team, right? They were down 2-1, I believe, and then it ended up going game 7. So they really, really needed to sub in their last player there.
Yeah, so they might do this again, though, because I was looking up the UHeart team. They had the exact same score from the division games before we had gotten into playoffs. Both teams were 6-1.
Okay.
So it might be a tight game, so I guess especially if they beat our JV4. So I'm a little nervous in that regard, but if they keep up with what they were doing last game, the game last week, I'm confident that they could take this for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should just really be a good game. I'm sure that were you watching last night as we had our Rocket League varsity team playing off in one of a little in-house tournament that we had?
I was checking in here and there, but did you get a chance to check it out?
I did, yeah. I got to commentate our varsity team as they played a little in-house here for the Vandal Giving Day right at the very end. It was the last event that we had, and I mean, they had such a good time, and we had a really good show to put on for a lot of the JV teams, and I'm really hoping that they were able to take away some things from watching those games.
Yes, yeah, when I was talking to the team before this too, they said that they were talking to their coach, and they felt like they were playing really good last night. With one another against our varsity. Was it the JV play against varsity at some point?
No, not then. No,
okay,
it was just the varsity had a little scrimmage match for us. So
okay, yeah, but they felt like they were doing really good. So that's also a really good takeaway, especially they've had some time to take some sets in before they even had the game going, and they've been practicing before this game is going on currently too. So, and sounds like it might be starting here soon.
Yes,
I don't know.
Speaking of game going in currently, we're gonna have to see. Yeah, we do hear the game, so we will get there shortly, guys. Don't you worry about that. Unless this is like the phantom screams of the Rocket League that I'm hearing. From,
I know, yeah.
Who's to say though?
We're hoping. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay,
We're in there. We're in there.
We're in. Perfect. All right. And we already have a little hit off from Toaster right in the center field right now. And then a push from Lava, I want to say. They got some interesting usernames right now.
Lava Staff, Toaster, yes, and then Lieutenant Harry. All right,
okay.
Shouts out.
All right, and okay, we got a push over by Pajama, but then, it hit back over by Slava. Oh, we got kind of close to the goal there, made me a little nervous, but right off that side, but a push over again by Lava again. Oh, then a quick turn rotation back over to the goal.
Yeah, something to keep in mind is that the Vandals normally are on the orange team, so if you're used to seeing them on the orange team, do keep in mind they are playing the blue side this time.
Yep.
So, which means that they are in possession of the ball and really keeping up this offense here on UHeart. And I think that's going to be the important part going into this set because UHeart's already been showing, hey, our offense, we're super duper aggressive, and we don't want to give them that many opportunities, kind of like this, to
right
score
there,
on us.
yes, yeah. I want to see replay on this. It looks like it was kind of an open goal for them, so. Yeah, Vandals were trying to get there, but just a little bit lacking on that defense on that play, and Lava Staff just took the opportunity to get it into there. So hopefully they can keep up on the rotation a little bit stronger in this next game.
Yeah, we don't want to be double committing, unfortunately, in situations like that. We want to have somebody in that goal. So hopefully the Vandals can recognize that, hey, we're getting a little bit too preemptive with our shots. We got it all.
Exactly. Now we have a push by UHeart off the side there, and then a little bit air ball control there, but a hit by Lieutenant Harry. And okay, look at that, a little bit of maybe not an assist action, but was taken back over that lost ball from Lava and a push into the goal.
Ooh, that bump from Lava stuff was actually really important. I don't know if you noticed that, but I think the Vandals were anticipating, hey, we should be able to get this. They don't think that they can contest us in any way. So good stuff to Hartford for that.
Exactly, and now we have up in the air, anyone's game, but okay, pushed by Swords to the goal, but kind of stuck in that corner. Toaster pushing back over, but then a defensive push from UHeart.
Yeah, it's all been offense so far for the University of Hartford, so they have been doing a very good job at maintaining their offensive pressure, and the Vandals so far haven't really shown that they have that much of a defensive capabilities, but it doesn't matter when they can clear the ball away and get a goal off of them.
Just like that. Yeah, it looks like that safety hazard sets to kind of push right there, and they kind of have the same issue that the Vandals, UHeart, the same issue the Vandals had previously. They weren't really there in time to keep up with good defense, so this is a game of, so far, I think we're just kind of warming up on our rotations currently. Yeah,
getting a feel for how each other plays is a big part of Rocket League, because there are some teams that play more defensively than general, there are some teams that play more offensively, and this is a clash of the offensive battles right now.
Definitely, for sure. So let's see if that Vandals can get there. Yep, okay, they're trying to play a little bit more defensive game currently right now. They push from Lieutenant Hart, but Lieutenant Harry just pushes it into the goal.
Barely gets like kind of the right block, but is not able to get it enough. That forward momentum was a little too much. Couldn't clear across that crossbar.
Yeah, that's okay though. Let's see if Vandals can maybe try and... They've been missing a little bit of the kickoff too, so I wonder if maybe they can... Okay, a little bit of a whiff from safety hazard. That's okay. Toaster now carrying it over to UHeart's side. But Lava Staff saying, nuh-uh, pushing it back over.
Yeah, one thing I want us to try and keep a lookout for is how well the Vandals are going to be managing their boost so far, because it seems like UHeart is doing a very, very good job at managing it, and the Vandals also seem like they have the boost, so just they're not ready for these so fast and aggressive plays.
That's what we're noticing. I think maybe they're trying to do the adverse from the game of the week prior. They were really boost heavy, especially early on in every game, so maybe they're trying to be more conservative, but they got to make sure that they're picking the good opportunities too. You can't conserve it the whole time. You know, you gotta take some chances and use them.
Speaking of chances here, Toaster does get a walk-on set here, but Lava says, "Nah, I don't want you to have that." So you're gonna clear it out in the midfield. No Vandal is in the backside, so it's lucky that it goes into the corner.
Yeah, now we have we had a little bit of a pinch right there. Both of them just pushing away. I haven't seen any demos so far in the game, is another thing to note, but I did notice the team last week also wasn't very demo heavy, so they might not be utilizing that.
Yeah, once you get to these higher and higher levels of play, it gets really hard to, oh my goodness, it gets really hard to, get in a position where you can demo somebody because everybody's moving so fast and their movement is a lot crisper than it would be in a lower level of elo, so.
Speaking of fast, we have a race to the ball, but we got a pinch off into the air. Oh, and there's a whiff by both UHeart and the Vandals. Let's see, I think it's Pajamas trying to push off the corner there, but yeah, it's another whiff right off that crossbar. Maybe they can try and push it back. Nothing right now. Pajama pushing it towards UHeart's side. Just a whiff right there.
It's so interesting seeing both of these teams right now are having these really, really close misses on the balls. That I don't think that they for sure are intending on doing it. Like, you can see that they have the right vision where it's like, oh, we want to set up this sort of a play with a double bounce right above the crossbar, and then they just happen to barely skim the ball. So, yeah, you can really tell that both these teams are like, we're not super comfortable playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Not taking a lot of risks currently right now. This is game 1, so that kind of makes sense. Or it is round 1, so I would like to see a little bit more risk-taking as far as, and also a little more teamwork. I've seen some setups for maybe an assist, but no follow-through on that currently. But let's see if maybe Swords can follow through on getting the hit, but just on the top right there. Oh, and number 9, Lava Staff comes back over and hits the ball into the goal.
Yeah, Hartford is doing a really, really good job with these wall bounces right here, right? So Swords potentially, he ran out of boost there, but even just setting up the wall bounce right above that crossbar lets some of his teammates take over that ball just in case his shot doesn't go the way he wants it to.
Yeah.
Whereas the Vandals so far have not really been making plays kind of like that, where they're like, oh, we have double opportunities when we go for our shots. It's more like we shoot once and then hope that we get something going here.
Exactly, and I think, okay, we're having a Pajama, just a take back over the ball, but Swords trying to tap off the corner. Okay, a little bit of try and air control from Toaster, but kind of misses. All right, we're going to carry back over. Okay, a little bit of a defensive play by Lava, back over to Vandal's side, and the Pajama off that corner there.
I can tell that the Vandals are really trying to focus in on this, the general rule of if you hit the ball second, generally it's going to go in the direction that you want it to, just because your opponents are getting stuck in the way.
Okay.
Unlike not being in the way for Pajama to get one goal there. It's a little bit late
right
for
there.
that. But
yeah. 4 seconds left, though. I'm not going to say there's a high chance they can catch up, but
it definitely is not possible. Maybe if they were down only 2 more, it could be possible. But
yeah, 3 is hard.
Not a situation the Vandals are going to win. So going into the next game, I do want them to try and focus on actually aiming their hits onto the ball a little bit better this game, because right now they're more focused on, oh, we want to maintain control of the ball, and then they just happen to miss it because they're so focused on trying to hit that control in. So.
Exactly, and I've just seen this is an issue that was kind of, been a follow through with them throughout the season a little bit, is just a little bit, they've been playing kind of slow, which me and my caster last week were talking about, especially with a game like Rocket League, that can't be a thing that you're lacking on. Speed is literally just the name of the game. It's, they're cars, you have to be fast, but on top of that, rotations have to be quicker. Like right here, trying to, the Vandals tried to get there quickly with the defense, but just missed it, and Lava Staff was able to get the goal.
Yeah, it's speed is the name of the game indeed, and if you're not able to keep up with the pace of the game, then yeah, that's just something that you have to do and kind of figure out how to maintain and get around. So
yeah.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to play at a your pacing of the game doesn't necessarily have to always be fast and go. You can play a slow paced game fast. If that makes sense. You can be on your rotations very, very fast. You can take very slow shots and maintain that control over the ball like the Vandals are wanting to do right now. You just do need to be on top of it more. Like you said, you need to be right, snappy, no mistakes, no hesitations.
Exactly, especially with a playoff game like this one. But it was good to see that we cut to the players a second ago. They seemed like they were still having a good time, smiles on their face. That's always good to see. It's disheartening when you see a team take up the first loss of a whole entire series really hard. You know what I mean? Because as these Vandals have shown before, they do know how to do a turnaround on a series. They're not unfamiliar with taking it back over at the last second. So I hope that they can possibly do that going forward in the next game.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind too is that I believe our JV2 team, it did not go flawless going into their playoff season so far, so they are familiar with playing from behind, or hey, we have experience with losing, so let's take that time and really relearn, remember what happened when we were put in positions where we couldn't win.
Yeah,
trying to learn from that. Whereas if you're just winning all the time, it's like, well, we don't know what it's like to lose, so when we start losing, all of a sudden it gets really, really difficult. So
exactly, yeah, just keeping up the high spirits with one another and being able to communicate too is really strong. I haven't really got a chance to see how well this team does in that regard. But if they can keep up with it, like I said, I think team plays are extremely important with a game like Rocket League as well, because if you're able to, do the rotates good with one another, assist one another, because a lot of times you can whiff a ball, but if you have your teammate there to help you push it back in, that might make a difference between getting a goal and not.
It's true. So sounds like we're just getting ready here into the next game here in a little bit. So we're gonna hopefully see what the Vandals are going to turn around here for the next game. I do wonder if they would have subbed in their player yet or no. Do you think they're going to wait a little longer? Oh, we're switching maps.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was safety. What I saw last game, safety hazard, Seth, Toaster, and Pajama, right? And then their sub is Cheese. Oh, I'm so bad with the gamer tags.
Is
I
it
forgot.
Octane?
I thought Octane was the captain. Maybe not.
He is the captain, so he can play for the team if he would like.
Okay, yeah, I think because I know Octane was I think the person they switched in last game. But speaking of game, we are going into game 2 right now with the Vandals. Let's see what's happening.
They did not end up going for any substitutions, so we're gonna go ahead and see what can happen here in game 2. Try and make some of those adjustments that we were talking about a little earlier. So, but it's already gonna be rather difficult as Hartford just has so much control over that ball. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, they're especially strong with their kickoffs, like because they're just been playing a little bit faster. So, and I think we just saw the first demo of the game happen right there.
There you go.
But yeah, they're just speeding around, being a little bit quicker than the Vandals. But now we have an open ball. Let's see if someone could take it. Oh, Lava Staff just pushing. I think a center field kick right into the goal too. Yeah, I want to see the. Oh, yeah, demo, and then yeah, basically center field. That was a pretty far kick for Lava Staff, and it looked like a Vandal was trying to get there to defend, but was just too slow.
Yeah, they were too slow in the combination of demoing the player who was sitting in the net. Oh, double fake for both of these teams. This is going to be a shot on goal attempt here. Is not quite going to get anything out of it, so everybody on the U-Heart side is able to reset and take control back of this ball.
Yeah, and now we are, okay, good, yeah, another push of Lava Staff, but a kick by Pajama to the center. And now we're kind of playing a little bit of back and forth with the ball. But Safety Hazard Seth pushes it over to U-Heart side. And then Lava Staff is there to say no and pushing it back over to the Vandals. Right off this corner. And then leaving it open up for an assist, but I don't think anyone was U-Heart there. It was there in time to push it into the goal. So, oh, and right off that crossbar, Lieutenant Harry just misses it.
Yeah, the Vandals are very, very low on boost, and they're getting kind of afraid of it because they're going for so many of these double commits here on the ball. I'm surprised they are able to maintain their defensive pressure there. Give themselves a little bit of reset time, collect some boost here.
Yeah, and then maybe they could, you know, they were using a little bit more offense, and I think they switched their tactic for this game to play more defensively because they've got a chance now to play with U-Heart and see how they're kind of going. But I would like them to try and still do some more offensive plays because they obviously they have to score some goals at some point.
It's true. It's true. And I mean, I really like that they are willing to, you know, play around how U-Heart's playing. They're
exactly.
They're getting a hang of the whole, oh, U-Heart is going for a lot of these double taps up on the above our goal. They've been challenging that. The problem is that they've been sending 2 or potentially even 3 players to go challenge them in that regard.
Yes, and that's a little bit of a tricky thing to do because we talked about before. Then you have no one there to try and keep up on your defense, and you have people hitting goals just like how I think U-Heart was trying to get one there, but just missed it. But yeah, see, we're kind of a setup right now where we only had one Vandal protecting that goal. Okay, now we have a push by Lava Staff, and we're in the same scenario again. We did not have a Vandal there to protect it.
Toaster did not commit to the challenge here, so in Lava's regard, he just decided to go for a fake turnaround, and yeah, nobody was leaving the goal because he was the last person in that rotation.
Yeah, now I said I want to see if maybe Vandals could try and win a kickoff fight here, but it looked like it was a little bit of a pinch there. Lieutenant Harry came out with the push from onto U-Heart's side, so now we're playing off the corner. Push might be a little bit of a whiff by Safety Hazard Seth. Now we're off the side of the wall now, and we have Swords pushing off the corner.
Yeah. So far, it's been a pretty slow game, all things considered, but the Vandals' offense has not been looking super duper good. They've been going for a lot of these solo plays, which their plays themselves haven't been super bad, but when you have U-Heart just setting themselves up with their duos, right, you can see these passes. Swords setting up the ball greatly into Lieutenant Harry, right into Lava Staff. So, like, all 3 of them got the touch for that goal.
Yes, and definitely, too, you mentioned before, paying attention to the boost. In that last play, U-Heart almost used all of their boost up and were very conservative. Meanwhile, Vandals were just kind of letting it sit there. I think they need to prioritize maybe trying to use boosts because, again, Lieutenant Harry got a push into there by utilizing that, I want to say, in this last one. Yeah,
good kickoff goal yet again coming in from U-Heart. Yeah, the Vandals have been missing so many of these really important hits on the ball. They haven't been clearing them out in ways that have been beneficial to the Vandals. So, and I mean, yeah, they're just really not in... We said earlier that they said they were feeling great. Being able to feel great and playing great are sometimes 2 different things entirely, unfortunately. So
exactly. I do think that they're trying to take a little bit more risks here. I did see a push by Safety Hazard Seth into the goal. He did miss it, but I do want to see a little bit more risk taking, especially with this a playoff game. You know, you kind of can't. Another goal by Lieutenant Harry too. I think U-Heart's willing to take a little bit more risks with this game.
Yeah, they've been so ahead of us in terms of where we want to be trying to clear the ball, and yeah, it just doesn't matter if we're double committing all the time here in the goal.
Now we have, okay, let's see, he's going to go for the ball, and we have a little bit of a pinch, but it goes off to the side. Okay, Pajama trying to push over, but now it's stuck in the air, and using a boost hit off to the wall. But Pajama pushing back over, trying to use a little bit more of that defensive, which is good. And to Toaster onto Uhart's side, so you might be able to do an offensive play into the goal, but we do have a pushback over by Uhart.
That is an open goal right for Seth to try and get something happening, but he's not able to get around on the right side of the ball fast enough.
Yeah, Uhart's able to get there a little bit faster and push back, but it is still on their side, so maybe if Vandals can get there and try and do a play. Okay!
There you go.
There we go.
Good shot from Pajama, able to get it right over the head of, I believe that was Lava that was trying to get that goal there set up. Yes. Good push from Toaster as well, just to really try and center that ball off of Lava himself, actually.
Yeah, and Sword trying to go for the defense, but just missed it there, so. All right, now we're gonna have, okay, yet again another kind of kickoff hit from Uhart. It was off the wall onto the Vandals side, so they might be able to, okay, there we go, good hit by Toaster playing on the defense there, blocking the ball. And we have another demo by Safety Hazard Seth.
Yeah, the Vandals are being a little bit more proactive in terms of what they're doing. I like that we're flying at the ball now, you know, you were saying earlier that, yeah, we want to be using our boost, and using that boost to get higher up into the air is a really, really good and something that they can take from what the varsity tends to do when they have possession of the ball.
Yeah, because I've noticed with Uhart, when the ball is on the ground, they tend to be the aggressor in getting that. So if Vandals can be a little bit stronger with their air plays, they may be able to keep it from them, play a little bit more of, you know, game of cat and mouse maybe.
Yeah, I would even say that Uhart has also been doing it. They've also been really controlling the airspace as well. They've been doing good grounded, but their airspace is what's setting them up for these double hits along the back wall. And so the fact that the Vandals are now challenging them in the air, I think, is the right adjustment to make. Just maybe a little bit too late for this game 2 here. Yeah.
So let's see, with 13 seconds left on the clock, if they might be able to get one more goal from the Vandals. Safety Hazard Seth attempted, and Pajama as well, but it was just Uhart's defense is a little too strong currently right now. I think we're just kind of playing back and forth right now with this ball. Maybe keep it up in the air for a goal, but I think that's going to be the end of game 2, and Uhart takes it again.
Yeah, another dominant victory over the University of Idaho here. Hartford has been playing very, very good. Yeah, honestly, I think that the thing that's really separating them so far has been their team play. They've been setting each other up a lot better. There hasn't really been a selfish act that's come from either one of the team or any of the players so far on the side of Uhart. So I really like that they're doing that. And it's been able to maintain their pressure a lot more consistently because of that selflessness.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and there we go. Another instance of a good team play with them, and just being kind of faster too with the volley I mentioned before, and not conservative with the boost. That was Uhart's, I think, really big thing. You mentioned a lot of air plays, that utilizing boosts as a big part in taking over that air control. So I think that they're trying to be a little bit more, like I said, risk-taking with it. They want to use it more. I kind of hope in the next few games Vandals will kind of see that and either come up with a counterplay like they had been before. They were trying to be more defensive in this second game because they're noticing how Uhart was playing in the first. So they can kind of act a similar way and maybe, like you mentioned, be in the air a little bit more, use boost a little bit more. But I'm curious to see if they will maybe put in Octane. That was the player they subbed in last
yes, it was.
Game, who kind of helped them push them over the edge to get that win. So now that Uhart's been kind of, you know, being a little bit aggressive with them, getting a little bit of those huge point difference, that maybe they'll sub him in now, or they might wait and see. There might be, you know, plan Z for them. I don't know.
We'll have to see. Because, yeah, last time it was very, very close sending in our Octane player. So, we'll have to see if they did sub in or not. But we are in the next game here and hopping right over to it, actually. Yeah, here we go. Possession is in favor of Uhart. And, yes, we did, in fact, sub in Octane. So we've got...
All right, let's see then. Yeah, we're going to have a push by Lava Staff, but off that crossbar and just missed it. Now going off to the corner, and a demo. So that was I've noticed not a ton of demos in this series so far, but you mentioned before it's harder to get that demos in when you're playing at a higher level. But Cheese did score. I think it was the first score for Cheese of the series.
It is, in fact, and that was a much better setup as both in terms of the team play that they had for each other. The replay doesn't show it here, as well as the usage of the air ball, right?
Yes, yeah. And that was a pretty good ball control too on Cheese's end right there. Just kind of tapped right in there. Pretty nice, a little bit of float, I'd even say.
Kickoffs have been going mostly in the favor of Hartford. I'm not very familiar with how kickoffs are supposed to work in terms of how you try and shoot the ball off of at the beginning of the round. So I'm curious as to what adjustments the Vandals would need to make in order to end up so that that stops happening for you.
Yeah, it's harder to say. Typically, yet again, maybe just being faster there. Sometimes I've noticed that if a team really wants to utilize a kickoff, they will demo. Oh, speaking of utilization, she's now just got a second goal. So maybe subbing in Cheese was also the move for this team as well.
Yeah, there were 2 different substitutions from the side of the Vandals. You can already see that the pace of the game has picked up substantially. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think just a little bit faster, and he has that pretty good ball control like I mentioned before, so that's always good to see. But Hartford takes this kickoff and might utilize it to get the goal, but right off that side, just misses it. They're trying to attempt, but we had the Vandals to push defense. So now it's on to Hartford's side. Center field, though, Swords might try and push it back in.
She's there with the reflect. We have Octo, who is sitting back in the net now. It is still on the Vandals side. He is the last line of defense now. The double top doesn't go their way. Cheese set himself up, though. And yet again, it's up in the air at the top. And yeah, the Hartford has not been able to capitalize off of these shots that they've had back like in the past.
Exactly, yeah. I think if they would have had a little bit stronger ball control previously in their demo, they maybe would have got those 2 different goals that were pretty open for them, but maybe they're getting a little bit tired or there's maybe a little bit lacking, but they weren't able to get the goal, and Octane tried to also score there, but same issue, just not as strong ball control there.
Yeah, the boost management has been a lot better on the side of the Vandals, and one thing I wanted to shout out from University of Hartford that I didn't notice from the last 2 games up until now, actually, was that they had actually been doing a very good job at stealing the full pennies from the side of the Vandals. While they were going for their offensive pressure, that was one of the reasons the Vandals were being so conservative with their boosts, because they're like, oh, we can't get any of these full boost pads anymore.
Exactly, yeah. I think they're utilizing that in their strategy, because I'll see a lot of them, you know, obviously, like I said, off the side, they're just taking them really quickly before come back over to help their teammates. So that might be their issue, though, if they're not all there together to help one another. But right now we have up in the air, and we have a push by Lava to Vandal's side. Let's see if they can catch up to defend. Toaster does block and tries to rotate back over to Hartford. On that side, it might be a setup for an assist, but just a little bit too high on that hit.
But hey, but Octo is there, and he is able to direct it right from the ceiling down underneath. Who was it that was down there? Let's see if it was Swords, I believe. Yes,
okay, perfect. Nice. That was a good show of, you know, maybe having all 3 of them on one side can be a risky play, but they did utilize it pretty well. They were able to get 3 different hits from different Vandals and finally got that goal in by helping one another. So that was good to see. For
sure. Yeah, the offensive pressure now is turning out to be a lot better for the Vandals. They've been getting a lot trickier with their shots. So you can see that they're actually trying to replicate some of the shots that University of Hartford has been going for these first 2 games, which I generally agree with. I think being trickier with both your movement and the way that you're controlling the ball, both offensively and defensively, is really, really important if you want to maintain pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also giving them a little bit of their own taste of their own medicine is also always good too, because typically they're not always prepared to have a play replayed back at them sometimes. So that's always a good strategy to try and go with. But right now we have Lieutenant Harry pushing. And okay, Lava Staff also trying to push back over to Vandal's side, but they're trying to play a little bit more defense on this game and trying to block their goal. Oh, but not there in time. It left a little bit of an open goal from the Vandals, and Sword was able to take advantage of that and score.
Yeah, he is able to get around Octo here. Octo did not have any boost, and so he could not really contest it in the way that he had wanted to, and so he's just able to go right on over.
Yeah, now let's see who's going to try and get this potential kick off. Okay, that was in favor of the Vandals onto Yard's side, and that might set them up for a score, and it does by Toaster.
I didn't even see how this ball got kicked off like this. Oh, yeah, it just literally set him right up just to go right down the middle. Swords was a little bit too late on getting there. I don't think any of Hartford was ready for that fast of a kickoff.
No, that was a pretty good rotate on Uhard's side, but just not fast enough until she took advantage of that. But let's see if they're going to keep trying to push onto Uhard's side. They haven't, like you mentioned before, they have been playing very offensively this last game, which is a good switch up from their last 2 that haven't boded as well for them.
Yeah, not only have they been playing offensively, but they've been playing with a lot more confidence. You can see that Octo is like, hey, I have really, really good control of this ball. It doesn't matter when I drop down from the ceiling.
Yeah, that was some beautiful ball control, actually. I haven't seen something like that in a while from this team, so that was nice to see. And they have been utilizing that a lot to get more of those goals, because I think they have that upper hand over Uhard, because as we've seen before, Uhard does kind of whiff some of their hits. But let's see if they can make this one. getting another whiff from them, but right over on top of that crossbar, just overshooting a tiny bit.
That was the perfect setup for Hartford to go for another shot on the goal right there, and that was one of those small mistakes that they have been making. Theirs hasn't been adding up nearly as much as the Vandals have been because they've been playing a little bit nicer so far, but that was one of them that could have cost them this game, actually.
Definitely, yeah. Now we have to fight for the ball with 30 seconds left on the clock. Toaster kind of setting it up and just having Octane push it, but a lot of staff might try to hit it back over, but luckily there was a defense by the Vandals. Now they're trying to rotate over to Hartford's side. Off that corner, might be a little bit of airplay, but setting it up, I think, to hit, but no one was there to assist, so that kind of fell through. Might get one more goal before the... Oh, no. We had a defense from the Vandals, so I don't think we'll get another goal before the clock strikes 0.
Nope, that will be a Game 3 win for the Vandals here. And they, yeah, you can definitely tell that their pressure has been a lot better so far as this last game has been going, so...
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yep, some fist bumps all around. They deserve that fist bumps. That was a last good game, and there's definitely a good cushion of points that previously UHart had between the Vandals. Now Vandals are kind of flipping the narrative, and now they have a couple points between them and UHart in this last game, especially, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, take a look at these much better shots that you can see from the side of the Vandals there, utilizing their passing plays a lot better. Hey, even if I myself are not necessarily set up to make this goal, they're starting to be a little bit more selfless, like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely a lot of better teamwork there. Like I mentioned before, taking some risks, especially without, I think I want to say this play, yeah, with all 3 of them were there together. That is a risky move, but they did utilize doing that with one another, so that was really good. And just in that ball control, like Octane especially was, shouts out. He was really, especially that one move. He didn't really do anything with the goal with it, but that was beautiful to see. Just some more ball control, which I think if there was any advantage they would have over UHart, it would be that currently so far in the game.
It is definitely that for sure. So hopefully this is turning out to be a very good match. I mean, it's already, we're going all right back into game 4. No breaks, no hesitation.
Nice. Like, I do like to see that. Quick turnover is always nice. All right, now we are just caught in the air right now, and we're on to Vandal's side. But we're just a whiff.
Double fake, but it doesn't matter. Lava is there to pick up on it right there at the very end. It barely gets it under the crossbar there in time, and Jesus not able to defend the goal there.
No, that was a pretty good setup for defense, but just the name of the game was being a little bit too slow in that play, and you are just able to take advantage of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, kickoff yet again. Has so far still been going in the favor of Hartford. The Vandals have been having these one-off kickoffs where it does, in fact, go in their favor, and that's what's really surprising to Hartford right now. But yeah, so Hartford has been doing very good at controlling this ball right out the gate.
Yeah, and luckily, I think if you are lacking in kickoff, it's not like the worst thing, because UHart will do a good kickoff, but then they'll kind of fall through on some plays. So if you're not able to do the play entirely good, then you have an opportunity for Vandals to score against you, just as Toaster had just done.
Yeah, that is the downside to having that triple commit on those plays. Those plays are really, really good and let you maintain your offensive pressure, but if you're not able to get that first person to rotate back and defend very fast, then yeah, you just leave yourself open like that.
Yeah, and Toaster did take advantage of that. But now we're going to have a push over to UHart's side, leaving it in the Vandals' favor. So you can take advantage of that right now. Leaving it kind of open, but no one was there to take advantage of that open goal. So now we're just kind of playing with the ball. See if Octane can set it up, but nothing. But Toaster was there to help. But Lieutenant Harry's going to push back over. Oh, now push again over to UHart's side.
Yeah, it's all coming down to this midfield defense, I think, from both sides. For the first 2 games, Hartford have been doing a very good job at maintaining the midfield presence, which let them maintain their offense as well. And the Vandals are also doing a much better job at doing that this game now, where they are having to leave Hartford with 1 or 2 of their players back in their spawn.
No, definitely, yeah. I would definitely have to agree. But now we have Octal is pushing, and now we have a caught in the air, leaving it up for someone. And, okay, pushed by Vandals, and they were able to get it in there. It kind of almost looked like UHart maybe set that up in the air for someone to just take, and it looks like the Vandals took advantage of that.
Oh, man, a double commit from the side of the University of Hartford. Ended up in the loss, and since they both whiffed on the ball, Lava could only sit and watch, having no more boost.
I know, that was a little bit of a sad scene to see, but they might be able to take it back over from the Vandals. Let's see if they can maybe push a little bit more aggressively in this game. Right now, they've just been kind of playing a little bit more on the defense against the Vandals, which they're trying to switch up, which is good, but... Okay, now we have a push. Maybe they are trying to play a little more defensively, but now we have a push by U-Heart onto Vandal's side. We're kind of leaving it open for someone to take the ball back over.
I love that setup, just being like, hey, I don't really feel comfortable on the position with the ball here. I'm just going to spike it down to my teammate who can have a lot cleaner of a shot going forward from the side of the University of Hartford. That was very, very good recognition and passing play. Yeah, I genuinely think that their team play has been way better than the Vandals has been this whole game.
Exactly. They like you mentioned before, it's not a you know, a game of individual play. They've been utilizing one another, and that's at the end of the day, like that's what the common goal should be, to score as a team and utilize when someone's in a better position than you currently are is always really good, because you just have someone hogging the ball the whole time. It doesn't always work out in your favor, even if they are an amazing player.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the pretty good defense from the side of U-Heart too. That was a difficult spot to be blocking. The University of Idaho had set up multiple shot attempt situation there, and they were able to navigate it very flawlessly. So.
Yeah, they've been having pretty good foresight so far in this game, but I don't know if they have foresight to see this push by the Vandals. They might score. Oh, Octane just showing some of that good ball control, but wasn't good enough.
Oh, Lava barely touching the ball. I think he actually saved the goal there, in fact, with a barely little jump that he was able to get up there.
No, exactly. That was a little bit crazy to see. But now we're having Cheese trying to do a little bit of air control, and a whiff by someone in U-Heart, not able to defend good enough. But now we're onto Vandal's side, so it doesn't really matter too much. Sword's trying to push, but no one's really there to help him, so it might end over back onto U-Heart's side right now. Now we have Lava Staff kicking it mid-air.
The Vandals have been doing this really, I don't know if they're intentionally doing this or not, but every time that they've been going for their clears, they've been trying to send it into one of their corners where they're not really hitting the ball very hard, which is letting Hartford set up themselves for some of these shots that they've been going for. Tying it up 2-2 now because of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was definitely a little bit of a mistake on their end on that last one, and that U-Heart was able to take advantage of. But now we're just playing off the corner. Toaster kind of bouncing the ball around. Leaving it up for someone in Vandals to assist, but no one was there in time to help him, so that was a little bit of a missed opportunity there. But that's okay. There was a lot of U-Heart defense in that moment.
Yeah, yet again, that was a position where the Vandals had cleared it towards the midfield, when normally you want to try and clear the ball towards one of the edges. That way it's a lot harder to shoot the ball. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to make more of those mistakes that might add up and catch up to them here later.
Yeah, and I think both teams are, another demo, both teams are a little bit quick on the rotates, not as quick as I'd like them to see, but they're kind of playing a little bit of defense, offense, like tennis back and forth, and that's kind of causing them to have a tie game current right now. Kind of the first tie we've had in this season, or not season, in the series so far.
Yeah, there's only 1 minute left on the clock. It is still tied up, so we have a very real potential to see the first overtime match of the set so far. So see who is able to come out on top here in the next little bit.
Yeah, definitely a lot more KG plays too. I just saw 2 demos, so I think they're trying to get a little more anxious to get past that tie. We have a setup from Toaster and trying to get off, and it might be a hit by Octane, but just off that side.
Barely hits the crossbar, but it doesn't matter. Octo
he got it. Able to do a not rotate, but yeah, there we go. A play right off the side and a setup, kind of.
It was also a phenomenal positioning of that ball. The Hartford was not anticipating that they would be able to get it up that high yet again, just with that control. So good stuff to Octo Hornet to be able to recognize, hey, I can shoot it up there and have it be a goal for us.
Yeah, flexing more of that ball control like he has been for the entire game. So let's see if U-Heart can maybe try and score in this last 30 seconds and make it back to a tie. So far, they just have them playing back and forth. I think trying to set up for a play, but no one's really there to get it in time. Lieutenant Harry's just a little too slow.
Good job, the Toaster there to get rid of that play. He actually interrupted the middle of their sequence. Normally, you would want to try and get 2 or 3 shots out of that position like that. But he just said, nah, I'm just going to hop right in. Interception. And that is actually probably going to win them the game, as we are down to 1 second and the ball touches the ground.
Yeah, now it makes it a 2-2, U-Heart 2 Vandals. That was a beautiful game to see. Like I said, I think both teams are now kind of they're finally out of the warm-up stage now. They're just kind of, they've met each other's matches, and that kind of led to a little bit of a quick tie for about a minute or 2 of that game. But yeah, both had some pretty good scores in this last one, especially with some ball control, some faster plays. A nice little hit by Toaster, taking advantage of when one team is lacking on their side, and just taking advantage of that.
Yeah. So we're at this point in the game, 2 games apiece. This is the part where now both teams have are going to have to start adapting to each other rather than just adapting to their own game plan that they've put out, right? The Vandals have shown, hey, we have really, really good ball control, and the University of Hartford has shown, hey, we have really, really good team play set up. So now it's come down to, okay, how do we tear apart their game plan and incorporate our game plan to push that out of the way, if that makes sense, right?
Exactly,
it's all about adaptation now versus just raw skill expression. So
yeah, exactly, and just maybe trying to do some counter plays to what they've noticed from the other team as well. We, as people get as the players get more cagey, we might see more demos. I did see this in the last game, so now we're into game 3 or game 5. 5. There we go. Thank you. Now we're in game 5. We might see more demos and more aggressive play styles. Just as I said, that people get more cagey and wanting to win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll have to see what's going on here so far. It's been pretty back and forth, actually. Both teams trying to really get these clears. A double commit from the side of the Vandals is not going to net anything, but Toaster is able to maintain that offensive pressure here while he lets his teammates recuperate.
Yeah, now we have a push off to the side by Octane and try to hit back over by Sword, but that was just missed. Now we just have some little bit of or ground dribbling, showing off some of that ball control still, but a whiff, and no one was able to really kind of get there.
What a great bump from the side of Octo Cornet, realizing, hey, I just need to make sure to get this goal defender out of the way here, and sets up his teammate here very nicely. Oh, it was Toaster with the bump, excuse me, and then Octo with the shot.
That was
well
nice.
done to the two of them. That was a much better team play that I like.
I agree, yeah. I wasn't even sure about that because it was kind of, teetering on going in a little bit slow, but it did make it in there, and that was really impressive to see. And so now we have still more offensive push by the Vandals, but I do think UHeart might be trying to up their defense in response to that.
The other thing I've noticed, too, is that the Vandals have been, I'm not going to say winning the kickoff because it hasn't gone on their, in favor of them, but they've been adapting to the second hit of the kickoffs here. You notice that Octo was able to just clear the ball right onto the other side of UHeart's field, where normally they've just been letting UHeart get possession of the ball in that case.
Yeah, and that's always a good strategy to have because I think that very first rotate from kickoff position is always one of the hardest to be quick at and utilize because, it's just the position you're in when you start the game makes it difficult to get there in time to, defend. So that's good they've been utilizing that.
We are on the side of UHeart now. Everybody is rotated over. We still have one Vandal left back in the hall here. And, I mean, yeah, they've been doing a really good job at maintaining this offense and clearing the ball a lot better than they have been.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of triple commits either, which is probably good. They're probably trying to play a little more safer as they are in a tie series right now. But let's see if they maybe will try and be a little bit more aggressive. Currently, it's on to UHeart's side. Vandals is kind of playing center field. We might have a push by Octane, but no, the UHeart does play defense, but Toaster might come back with a rotate, but it looks like they're going to push. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to be center field again. Let's see who pushes it. Okay, UHeart onto Vandal's side. And a whiff by Toaster and Cheese, but UHeart did not make the goal there.
Oh, man, I was so worried that Cheese was going to pinch the ball into our own goal there for a second, but he barely hits it into the crossbar instead. And leaving that the defensive volley back and forth. But Lieutenant Harry from downtown, right in the midfield, is able to get it right behind the left side of Cheese. I do not think that he was expecting that sort of an angle from the ball in that scenario.
No, I was about to say, I don't think that was necessarily a ball control kind of play. I think there's maybe just pure luck on that end. I didn't even think it was going to make it either, but Vandals weren't there to play strong defense at the time, so that was able to get in and making it now a tie game between Vandals and UHeart.
Yeah, good positioning from the Vandals here at the start of the kickoff for the series number 3 here. 1-1. Good setup for Octo Cornet here, but barely does not get the right angle. He goes a little bit to the right, unfortunately. But Toaster with the setup does not quite get the double bounce he wants yet either. And so, I mean, yeah, this tiny little plays have been adding up in terms of the Vandals offense here.
Definitely, yeah, and they're trying to play a little more aggressive the offense. They did see a triple commit there, but they did quickly rotate back in order to keep up with the push from UHeart. But now we're back onto UHeart's side, and a whiff by Lieutenant Harry, it looked like. But they might get a...
Oh, 2 whiffs is going to mean that Octo has a chance for a shot, but no, finally, the last player right at the very end is able to clear the ball all the way to the other side of the field. And now they have their offensive opportunity here as we just kind of figure out what the boost situation is like.
Yeah, I think they've been, like you mentioned before, I think we're trying to probably play more with the boost because I have seen a lot more air play, definitely. The ball has still been on the ground here and there, but I think just as people get a little bit more aggressive too, the ball kind of pitches in the air and they're just going to have to play off that continuously.
Great pass. Great pass from University of Hartford. They're trying to set up their Lava staff player there. He was not quite able to get the hit that he wanted to, and now it's on the side of the University of Hartford's goal here. So, I mean, yeah, both teams have really begun to adapt to each other. Like we were saying at the beginning of this game, they're really, really trying to say, hey, we're going to shut down your offense and play our defense. Oh, you're playing defensive. We're going to shut down your defense and go offensive. And it's just been a really good back and forth so far.
Definitely, yeah, and there's still more of keeping up with one another. Like you mentioned, great at, both teams at adjusting their plays, because now we're stuck in the game where we only have a minute left and both teams have only scored one, which is a lot different than how it was with game one.
Yes, sir. Octal is not quite able to get the goal on the, barely hits the top corner there. Toaster with the follow-up is not able to get anything. Demo here from Cheese now is going to mean that the Vandals have possession of this ball, and they get a shot opportunity here in a little bit. But no, Lieutenant from downtown is able to say, no, you guys are not getting a shot yet.
Yeah, and leaving it open for maybe a hit by Toaster, but he just whiffs it and was not able to get there in time. He was the only one on that side, so it's going to be another push by Octo
no! Unfortunate miss from Lava there. That's not something that is usually seen from him. He's just barely not able to get up there in time. Yeah, and he hits it right. Yeah, he was just a little too slow, unfortunately.
Definitely. Octo Cornet booked it to that side, so he went over all the way from Vandal's side to trying to take advantage of that hit and was able to get there, which is great. Sword does win the kickoff for U-Heart, but Vandals were able to kind of rotate it back onto U-Heart's side anyways with Octo pushing. Lava leaving it mid-air, but Cheese might come back with that assist, but just misses the goal on the top, so was not able to get there in time. Now we're just kind of playing with the ball off the corner. If they can't score in time, this might make it a Vandal win for Game 5, and I think, let's see.
Oh, that's going to be a hard spot to get there. Oh, Cheese actually
never mind.
Plays off of Lava, who had to go for the touch on the ball there in order to make sure that the ball was still in play. And so Cheese just taps it right on in. He's like, yeah, in order for you to win, you have to keep the ball up. That's a free shot for me here. It just means you can't hit it. So
yeah, and that does make it now to Vandal 3 and U-Heart 2. So this is the match point for the Vandals. They might, if they get this last one, they take this playoff game.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot better with their own team plays as well, I've noticed. So the shot right before this that we had set up had made it so that, that we've been going for our own double plays. We haven't necessarily been capitalizing on it as well, but we have been setting up our own double plays in that, oh, hey, we are using a lot more of these bumps and demos to our advantage to really throw off the rotations and the groove of University of Hartford.
Yeah, speaking of demo, I had mentioned previously, I thought there'd be more demos in these last games as people got more antsy to try and win. I did not see a lot of that this game. I was a little surprised by that, but I think just because everyone was playing so fast, they didn't have time to do a demo. And it looked like it just maybe there was not going to be, a good opportunity to even set up a good demo play anyways, just because how things were set up.
Yeah, and the other part too was that the University of Idaho, they weren't going for the demos. Instead, they were going for the bumps. There was a lot more bumps on the side of both teams, honestly, but University of Idaho was taking more advantage of it in that sometimes it's a lot more beneficial to you to get an opponent out of play via a bump, because when you get demoed, you obviously respawn in a corner, which is a good defensive position, really. It's usually right next to your goal, so in case you're like, oh, we are out of position here, somebody's usually in your back goal, right? Whereas a bump, it's more like, oh, I'm still in my position, I just no longer have any momentum, and usually that means that I've spent a lot of my boost as well, so how am I going to get to the ball in a fast manner? And you just can't really do it, so.
Yeah, and let's see if they might utilize demos in this final game, not final, I guess, but
no. Hartford did take a timeout we did here, so they are going to have to go ahead and remake this lobby as we get into this next little game. So a little bit of a misclick. Don't worry about it. We'll get to you right after this timeout. So.
But yeah, you mentioned boost. I haven't been having a good opportunity to watch them a ton. Did you notice any differences in boost utilization in this last game at all?
Yeah, Hartford has not really been going for the boost on the side of the Vandals side because they have not been able to maintain their offensive pressure. And so really nobody's been battling for these boost pennies. And so it's just been kind of, oh yeah, it's a normal rotation. So nobody's really fighting for them, which means that everybody has good rotation so far. So no, really it's just been, hey, we're just having a good game of Rocket League. No dishonorability amongst us. So
yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned, I think really it's been gradually getting better with the rotations, especially from Vandals, but U-Heart, I want to say too. Just as people are warming up in the first couple games, I think rotations are the hardest thing to kind of gauge with the other team, as you don't know what their play styles are. But I think both teams have definitely been trying to keep up a little bit stronger on the rotations. Vandals have been getting a little bit stronger in comparison to U-Heart these last couple games, which have been in their favor for sure to get these goals and put them in the advantage currently in the series.
Yeah, they are on match point currently, but you can even tell by their composure that, yeah, they're still cool, calm, and collected. They're ready to try and win and play this game, play it at their pace, at the way that they want to. So we'll see if they come home with the victory here or if Hartford has anything to say about it.
Exactly, yeah. So now we're going to have a kickoff. Oh, and it kind of whiff, but it does go into Vandals' advantage, but now we're playing off the corner there. And a hit by Octal might get it in there, but Lava says no thank you and tries to push back over to Vandals' side, leaving the ball open for someone to take.
Yeah, the combination of the aerial defense as well as the rotations of the Vandals have made that they have not had to worry about these clears from the side of Hartford, really. They can just kind of, relax. Hey, they cleared the ball. We have aerial possession here, so we're not super worried about our own defensive habits as well much anymore. So, ooh, very tricky little flip over there from Cheese now to just try and barely get it over the side of, I believe it was Lava, but he was not able to get there quite there right at just in time.
Exactly. Now we have a push up in the air by Octal. It looks like we're going to try to rotate to Vandal's side, but Cheese pushes back over to U-Heart. I think it might just be him on that side, so we might have to take this one alone. But Toaster come back over to hopefully get that assist, but not right, just missing a little bit. Now Octal off the top, setting it up for Cheese and maybe try and push off that side there, but I don't think it's going to make it.
Yeah, the clears, both left and right from Hartford have been really good. We were talking about earlier how the Vandals were kind of clearing towards center, which is not that great because it can set up your opponents, unfortunately, which the Hartford knows, and so they've been sending it to the left and right. Even if they have to play a little bit more defense, it's very worth it if you're not letting your opponents go for those extra shots on goal that they might get.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like U-Heart is trying to maybe try to utilize boost a little bit. They're a little bit lower compared to last time. I think Vandals are trying to be a little more conservative with it here, but I do want them to try and utilize them still more, especially if we're doing a lot of air plays like we have been currently in this series.
So far, it's been all Hartford defense so far that they've had. They have not had a single opportunity to go for a shot on their own goal. Harry goes for a demo, but gets demoed by Toaster on the side of Swords as well. So, I mean, they started to try to set themselves up for an offensive play, but they just couldn't do it.
No, exactly, yeah, and I don't think anyone was able to utilize those demos very much in that last play, so they just kind of demo just happened, and oh, but now we have Cheese going off of the side now to do a full hit into the goal.
Yeah, it was a good shot from Toaster just to try and get it in, but yeah, it was good, even better for Cheese to realize, hey, he did not get the goal there. This is a chance for me to, pick up the slack from my teammate there, and it excellent and resulted in a goal there. So.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when the Vandals do commit to the double commits, or even triple ones, they really do commit, and that's been their strongest suit in this game so far. And U-Heart still having to play a little bit of defense. They might be able to do a push onto Vandal's side, maybe do a good rotate, but I don't. It looks like Vandals are racing them to get there, so they might not be able to take a good opportunity of an open goal at all. We just have some Lieutenant Harry kind of dribbling the ball on the ground, and a defensive play by the Vandals, making sure they do not get that goal.
Yeah, all three Vandals are here on defense, which means that it is going to be a lot tougher to get through three of them when you're trying to score some of these goals. Whereas if they were being way more offensive than they needed to, then it would be a lot easier. But hey, a great demo.
Yeah, I was saying if you demo someone, though, that does bring that number from 3 to 2, and they were able to take advantage of that in this last play right here.
Yeah, excellent recognition that, hey, we need to have this man advantage here in order to make sure we get this goal. So nice shot from Swords as well, realizing, hey, this is my chance. We got to use that demo time now.
Yeah, and now that leaves it with another 1-2-1 tie game as in the last round. But it looks like Lava's going to try and push to get onto Vandal's side, but Octo with the airplay says no thank you and brings it back to center field. Now leaving it up in the air for someone to take back over. Toaster pushing it back over to U-Heart's side as they try and race to keep up on their rotates with that defense there. But Lieutenant Harry trying to push back over to offense side. Luckily, Octal is there defending to block it back over and leaving it center field for someone to try and take back over with.
Yeah, all 6 players having pretty good boost situations right now, which means that, yeah, this offensive pressure as well as the defensive pressure is able to maintain itself. We do get a clear from the side of the Vandals, able to bring it all the way over to the Hartford side. Great defense from the side of Lieutenant Harry. Barely goes for the touch as well as the bump, which was the more important part of that defense in order to make sure that ball does not go in the net.
Yeah, and it looks like all Vandals are... Oh, okay, now I think all Vandals are currently on U-Heart's side, which is a little bit of a risky move, but if they're able to follow through like they have been, they might be able to, but looks like U-Heart's just going to push it back over to Vandal's side. And never mind, the ball is, I think, center field right now, just kind of playing around with it. I don't know who's going to try and push it to theirs. Looks like Lava Staff is going to try and bring it over to Vandal's side, but luckily Vandals are trying to be quicker with their rotates and all three on defense like last time, so make it a little bit trickier for them to get that play.
Yeah, the Vandals had a tiny little bit of a double commit there right at that last goal, but it ended up being fine as they did get the last hit to clear it away. So 1 minute remaining with 1-1 apiece. So it is a nail-biter game number 6 here as we go into the last minute of our game. It's our Vandals on the offense here. All three of UHart is here on the defense. They are on their rotates and doing quite well with them as well. Lava Staff getting demoed for his troubles. Setting up University of Idaho here for a potential double hit with Toaster and Cheese, setting him up for it. Well done from the two of them. That means that the Vandals have a game point advantage here in the last 30 seconds or so. Lieutenant Harry does not have enough momentum to shoot the ball away the way he wanted it to. So.
Yeah, yet again, another triple commit play that worked out in the advantage for the Vandals, which is always nice to see. If they utilize one another, they always are able to get that goal in, and that's always awesome. So now Lava Staff pushing it mid-air. I think we're going to see a little bit more aggressive for the last 3 seconds from UHart. They maybe try and scrounge this last goal.
Cheese does not get around the side of his car on the ball that he wants in order to get a shot opportunity off. But, I mean, the pressure is here. We have 20 seconds left. All three of UHart going for a triple commit there. They really are.
That was a pinch, wow.
Getting anxious. It doesn't even clear it, unfortunately, meaning that the Vandals have 10 seconds to, kind of maintain this pressure. Lieutenant Harry with the ball is kind of trying to slowly drive it down the field, but a clear from the Vandals means that Lava Staff has to be here. Octal hits the ball up for Lava, but the spike down to the floor means that is, in fact, going to be the game. University of Idaho taking it 4-2.
Nice. That was awesome to see. Yet again, I think utilizing some of those subs like they did, the game from the week prior helped them take over this game and win.
It's true. It's true. And I mean, it's good that all 5 players on this team are, getting the opportunity to get some experience in some of these higher level lobbies. And then at the end of the day, hey, we always can rely on our rocks to hold us down here at the end. And they can clutch up if they need to.
Exactly. And I think it's always really good, too, that they are trying to kind of play a little bit easy the first 2 games. I think they kind of they make sure that the other team underestimates them, and then they come in really quick with those, stronger plays, stronger rotates, better team play together, and it always catches the team off guard, and they're able to utilize that and score like they had in this series, and that was awesome to see.
Yeah, it all came down to the University of Idaho adapting to the offensive patterns that University of Hartford was going for. They had a lot of these double plays, these triple plays, especially off of the backboard that they had setting each other up. And if you were able to disrupt those setups, whether you have bumps, demos, or even just going in and intercepting the ball yourself, they're not really in a position where they can go for those plays anymore, which is where they were strongest, So.
And they were able to follow through with their commitment to avenge their JV4 fallen brethren. So that is awesome to see. I'm glad that they were able to accomplish that goal they had for themselves. That's always nice. UHart did play a really good game. That was really cool to see. They're really strong right out the gate. They had a really good team plays. They had awesome boost control. That's always nice to see. So this was a really exciting game to get to, witness firsthand.
Yeah, GG's to the University of Hartford. They put on a good show for us. It was a good match. But the Vandals get to move on to, I believe they are in semifinals now of their playoffs. So it is coming down to the wire now. Only one potential, or actually, I believe that guarantees them third at top 4 at the very least.
Yes,
now they've made it to semis. So we have at most 3 more games left throughout the season. So.
Now, that would be super cool to see. I'm excited. This team especially, I love following them. My co-caster and I last time talked about varsity is always really fun to see because that's like the highest level. But with some of these JV teams, it's also fun to see because they tend to be a little more relaxed when they're playing. Not just because they feel better about it, but they feel a lot more calm. A little bit less at stake for them. Still, they have the championship at stake here, so it is higher stakes for them currently. But they feel a little more calmer. They tend to be doing it a little bit just more for the fun of the game and the love of it, rather than just to be a champion. And this team, like I mentioned, they really enjoy working with one another and playing with one another. And that's why I love casting JV2. They're always fun to watch.
It's true. Seeing them learn in real time is super duper cool. I mean, obviously, when you're at as high a level as our varsity players, the amount that you're learning is smaller and smaller and smaller, and so it just becomes, I become a better and better player slower over the course of time. Whereas our JV2 team, hey, they have all the time in the world. They get to learn in real time and adapt to people as they get to showcase their abilities and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun watching them.
Yeah, I agree. There's always just a fun team to get to witness. And I love casting this game too. It's always fun.
It is always fun indeed. But unfortunately, that is going to wrap it up for us. We have been the University of Idaho Esports. We went 4-2 today against University of Hartford. A good showing from us, putting us into winners semifinals of the ECAC playoffs bracket. That it means that we are going to have to sign off for today. I've been ZG Fenrir, joined by my lovely co-host over there.
Yeah, Mozzarella. It was awesome. Always chatting with you guys, casting with you guys, and I love this game. So thank you so much. And yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see you later next week.